Good morning. I'm Leon Thomas, and welcome to NRG This Week. It's Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. That means it's time for NRG. We still don't know what time it is in Hawaii and Alaska. Maybe someone will put it in the chat to let us know. This is NRG This Week. Here we go. Welcome again to another episode of NRG This Week. My name is Leon Thomas. I'm the president of the Leon Thomas Group. We produce NRG This Week every week. If you'd like to learn more about us or to contact me, my email address is leon at theleonthomasgroup.com. You can go to our website, theleonthomasgroup.com, to learn more about our company. We're here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. with NRG President and CEO Mike Weiner. Let's bring Mike on the screen. Mike, what's happening good? How you doing?
To use your term, I am doing groovy today. I tell you what's happening is half of the year is done. When we come back next week, we're into July, and I would advise everyone take stock of where you're at. What have you done good? What have you had trouble with? First 6 months of this year, Leon, have been great for NRG, and the next 6 months are even going to be better. Happy early July 4th. I'm excited, man. You and I have been together doing the show for a while, and we're just having a great time. Having a
It,
great time.
it is. I want to give a good morning shout out to Holly. I saw it. Let's show that comment again from Holly because she said woohoo or something like that. Here, I'm going to do my best woohoo. Here we go. One, two, three. Woohoo! Mike, it's your turn. Mike, was that like a whistle? Like,
I
but,
that
but
you know what
anyway, it's
I was gonna say what's funny about Holly is she was just on the show and she came to NRG through our guest today. How appropriate is
how
that? John
powerful
Bennett
is that?
brought Holly Holiday, and I love that name, Holly Holiday. It's
Yeah,
a movie star name, Leon. We had a great time with her last week, and now we're gonna meet the gentleman who brought Holly to NRG. Very
right on.
fitting.
I like it.
Very
I like
fitting.
it. Now, before we bring John on, remember last week we talked about a new segment on the show where we would call it dad jokes. So, Mike, do you have a dad joke?
I totally forgot about that, Leon.
Oh,
I
I'll give
dropped
you
the
one.
ball and I fumbled. I
See,
went right back on Zoom after we left. So I know you're going to tell two dad jokes to make
no,
up for your partner in crime here.
just one. But it's
Okay.
going to be very fitting for you. Okay.
Okay.
Mike, I noticed you got a haircut.
Oh my God, I did. I had to plead with the lady to let me in at 5 to 7, but I'm pretty persuasive when I need to be. I'm like, if you don't see me now, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. She goes, have a seat, young man.
So here we go. Let's play this back. Now, let's pretend that I got a haircut and you say to me, Leon, I see you got a haircut, and listen to my response. Go ahead.
Hey, Leon, I see you got a haircut.
Nope. I got them all cut.
Oh my God. I've heard that one recently too. That's funny.
That's
I
a
took that
real
off
knee
Facebook.
slapper.
That was a Facebook joke. I just saw that recently.
All right, enough of this humor, folks. I'll be here all week. Don't eat the veal. Let's bring on our guest, John Bennett. Hey, John. John, how are you?
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing?
We're good. John, how'd you like my dad joke? How did you like that?
I loved your dad joke. And jumping into father's jokes or dad jokes, a horse walks into a bar and the bartender looks at him and says, "Why the long face?" Think about it, guys. The horse, long face. Oh,
Yes.
oh. Come on, Mike. You gotta laugh.
I was going to outsource the joke to John, but I'm not sure about that one. I really don't know.
I like it, John. Right on for you. Right on
Gotta
for
do
you.
that, man. Just as a consolation prize.
John, you just set the tone for every guest that comes on starting next week. The
Yep,
first question is it's not even a question. It's just, hey, how you doing? And they go right into the father joke.
that's
It's
it.
just that's what we're gonna do.
That's it. That's what you got to do. I just set the bar.
That's it. You set the bar. You set the
Yeah.
bar. So
Mhm.
John, thanks for being with me and Mike today on NRG this week. So John, tell us about your business. Tell us what you do.
The company is called Fractional Sales and Management Associates. And we go by the acronym FSAMA, FSAMA.com. And we perform the same function as full time sales and management leadership, but we do it on a part time basis. As an outsourced management, this is a cost effective alternative to the expense of a full time manager being a part of your team. We normally work with our clients a half a day to a day per week. We spread that time out during the week. And we are proven successful sales and management leaders who apply our experience in companies not as a consultant, but as a part of the leadership team. We work with our clients to mold and provide structure as well as new ideas for the team. And we work
Okay.
in sales, management, financial. We carry the whole thing.
And John, tell us about your experience in this. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this 5 years, but it's the experience I had before that that allows me to do something like this.
Okay.
Um, I spent 25 years in business. I was in media, I was in manufacturing, biotechnologies. I have a financial background, but then I stepped out of that realm and got into sales. But before I did that, I was the controller, the chief financial officer, then a sales manager. And as my career continued to grow, I was president of these companies, various different companies or divisions, and ran them and actually was able to turn them around. I've worked for GE. I've worked for Eurofin Scientific. I've worked for Media General, Store Communications, and
Right
just
on.
domestically and internationally.
Hmm.
So pretty diverse background.
Oh, John, you're in North Carolina. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What city?
We're in Greensboro. Greensboro is part
Greensboro.
of the Triad area,
Oh,
Winston-Salem,
sure.
High Point, Greensboro.
Yeah, yeah. I have someone I want to introduce you to in Greensboro. You may
Ah,
already know him. I want to
who's that?
introduce you to Steve Swatoa.
I don't know, Steve.
Steve Swatoa is the president of the Greensboro Swarm.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah,
great. Nice
Steve and
team.
I, yeah, we went to college together.
Oh, did you
And
really?
actually, we roomed next to each other for 4 years.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you
roomed
go.
next
They've
to
done
each other.
well just being a new team. They really
Yeah,
have.
yeah, right on. Now, before we toss it to Mike and let the two of you talk a little bit and I step away, I have one more question. Now, Mike and I have known each other 25 years. There's a long story that I have a full day version of the story, a 5 hour or 6 hour. I've got all kind of versions of the story, right? I'll just keep it real short. We met at a networking event, and he asked me, this is when I was in hotel management. He said, "What's the top account around here?" I told him. He said, "Come on, let's go see him." An hour later, the deal is signed.
There you go.
Okay, so you gotta love that, right? How did you meet Mike?
Actually, to be quite frank, I am in a Chamber of Commerce leads group here, and I am now the outgoing president of that leads group. And it's a wonderful leads group. Take nothing away from it. I love to be a part of the chamber, but you meet the same people again and again. But one of the individuals in the leads group said, "I've got some a leads group you got to be introduced to." And I said, "Sure." So I joined him that day. And the thing that really stood out to me about NRG was the fact that Mike has so many different locations that you can join in. Once you join the NRG, You can sit in on the Los Angeles leads group. You can sit on the Houston one, the New York one. I was on Long Island last night or yesterday afternoon. And it just opens up the world of people, that sphere that you get a chance to meet. And I think that is just one of the most powerful things about NRG is that opening of, your whole platform of who you can network with.
I love it. I love it. Holly, good morning again, and good morning to who was that last comment from Subham? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Subham Zaid, good morning to you. Mike Weiner, I'm going to back away. You and John, go ahead and talk. I'll listen in. I'll join you later. Go ahead, Mike.
Excited to have you here today. We kind of called this North Carolina. We had Holly here, who you brought into NRG. Yeah, I've got a couple questions for you. And by the way, this will be all over social media. It may go into a space capsule into the future. Who knows? You never know with Leon. But for our viewing audience, as a fractional CFO, and I just came up with this question. I usually don't ask this. What is, without mentioning the company name, what is one of your most successful clients that you went in there, they had some issues, you and the client agreed to work together, and you can quantify it by success, you can quantify it by numbers, but tell the viewing audience probably your best client, what you were able to do for them, obviously without mentioning their name. We'll protect
Mm-hmm.
the innocent there, right? But if you would take a minute or two, share that with us. I think that would be great for our viewing audience to know the kind of work you do and the benefits the client can derive from that.
When you talk success, is it financial success or is it just operational success? And fortunately, this particular client has both. I started with this client 2 years ago, and he wanted to talk about where he was going to go down the road with this company. And I said, okay. And so we started working together. And the first thing I look at is the financial statements, the data that's going in, so I can analyze where the client is, what they need to be doing, how's their revenues looking. And this individual had nothing. They had not updated their financial statements in 3 months. He didn't even know how to get into it. His clerk had left, and it was just a disaster. And from that point, we developed a plan of how are we going to move forward on this. And basically, it was things of getting the data in. We hired another person. And of course, when you hire, how do you hire the right person? He was going to hire a family member. And I said, no, you don't hire family members. But we started developing, we got the data in the system. We developed budgets. And as they say, they were just kind of spitball budgets, but something to be able to have it so we could benchmark ourselves. And then we started moving forward in time. And we've worked with regard to, the marketing side of the company, the sales side of the company. But here we are 2 years down the road. And we look forward to, and I know he does too, we look forward to going over the financial statements, which he had never done anything with financial statements. And we go over them. And now we're talking about percentages. You're over this percent, you're under this percent. Let's look at the dynamics of what this means. How's your cost of goods sold? And he gets it. He's understanding it. And it's like changing the direction of the Titanic. It doesn't happen overnight. I generally will not work with a client on a short basis. I want to work at least 3 months because to them to understand and see the seismic changes that are very subtle, in a 3 month period, then they understand and they don't leave. They like being a part of this company, or the services that we provide. You're muted, Mike.
You mean, you talking about all your careers, and I'm like, is this guy 115 and he just uses really good skincare products? That was kind of my thought, because you've done so much diversity. What is it for you as a fractional CFO? What joy do you get when you go in and you help a client, and they come back to you and they go, John, you saved my company, or John, you took me to the next level, you took me to a vision that I couldn't even see. What is the biggest benefit that you personally derive from that kind of success?
Good question. And let me say something. I'm not just a fractional CFO, fractional chief operating officer, CFO, sales manager, all of these things we roll into the services that we provide. It's the same joy, though. It's the same joy that when I would run a company for uh, um, the corporation that I worked for, and it was hurting, and to see it transform into a well-respected company, it's thrilling. When you go on vacation and nobody calls you because they all know what they're doing, I can translate that to the clients I work with. That it's thrilling when we go to their we review their financial statements, we review their strategy of what they're trying to accomplish, and they get it. They see the vision, and they say, "Trust me, I see this company better than I've ever seen it in my life." It's thrilling, and that is what I do. It's giving away to our clients, the knowledge that we have, and the knowledge is what you get from 25 years in the business, working with companies that are very strict in what they require out of leadership, and
Right.
knowing that you're working with a good company. They make money. I've got another client, man, they make a fortune, but disorganized, and we're putting structure to that one too. But we can walk in. I'm pretty agnostic with the company I work for, and so, or the industry. And so I say it, Mike, you've heard me say this before. One of the key elements that we do is we diagnose first, then prescribe. I don't come in with a canned approach. I want to understand what your needs are and how we can help you. And then we devise a plan to help them doing that.
Great answer. I love it. And I think I shared with you when you said that quote, I had heard this too. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And I've learned that a long time ago. So
It's so
one more
true.
question for you, and then we'll bring Leon back in. I know you're very involved in the Winston-Salem, the whole Greensboro, North Carolina area. You came out to NRG like I always do. You got 3 leads right away. I blew your phone up within a day or two. There's a lot of folks out there, John. We're going in the second half of the year. They're not where they want to be,
Hmm.
or they maybe because of COVID, they got downsized, right sized, ostracized. They're doing their own business. What advice would you give to someone? No, and you and I have been working together. The thing I love about you, there's a lot of things I love about you, but I remember you saying, "Hey, do you mind if I call you Saturday morning?" We had a call the day after you joined within 24 hours. And I remember it was 9 a.m. I was eating breakfast and we were going over the schedule. You showed a sincere interest. You're like, I want to get to Philly. I want to get to New York. What advice would you give to someone? They've been let's just say they've been in a leads group, not a networking group like NRG. They've been there 3 years, they've gotten 1 lead. They've got a bad image of groups. What for you was the deal maker? I'm not going to say deal breaker, deal maker, because you joined immediately after the meeting. Within minutes, you're like, I'm in, let's do this. And you and I, beside creating a business relationship, there was a friendship. I like you. We've never met. It's all been on Zoom. But what would you say to someone who's had a negative experience with a group, or maybe they're fresh out of college and they don't even know what is NRG to John Bennett? And then we'll bring Leon back on.
I look at NRG as diversity. I like the chamber group that I'm a part of. I take nothing away from it, but to be able to expand the people I talk to and be able to talk to people in different areas of the country. Probably it comes from the fact we've lived all over the country. Everybody's the same. Everybody's just trying to build their business. And so that is the one thing that stands out to me. If you are in a group that you're not happy with, and there are those out there that are more structured in the process than they are giving leads, then reevaluate it and think outside of the box a little bit. And then, last but not least, go online and see what other leads groups are out there, whether it be in the region, in the city, or nationally, like NRG. And I think the biggest thing that you've got going is the collaboration of people, the number of people that are part of it, and the diversity of the cities that it's part of.
I appreciate that. A lot of times I'll talk with someone and they're in 3 or 4 or 5 groups. and it's not being productive. And you said reevaluate, and they join NRG. And one thing I say to them subtly is, hey, take a look at what you're doing. Where is it productive? Where is it not? Maybe there's something you can let go, because usually within 3 months, the folks are so busy in NRG that they've dropped something else out that's not productive. So I'm excited we have you on it. We've been talking about it for a while. I'm going to pass the baton back to my good friend. Hopefully, Leon will catch it. Leon and I are big football fans. I had to get football in there because the month after next week we got preseason. Leon, baseball. The Orioles are cranking. Ravens are coming, and they're looking at a Super Bowl trophy this year. And John, you got the Panthers down there in North
I'm down
Carolina.
here.
You used to have that Cam Newton, who was a great guy, but Leon, I'm going to turn it back over to you and pick it up, buddy.
John, here's the thing. When we started the show year and a half ago, whatever it was, Mike and I talked about sports a lot. And we listened to viewer comments. We paid attention. They said, stop with the sports. So we stopped with the sports. Then this whole Lamar Jackson thing, and Mike starts talking about that, and we go from like 15 seconds of sports to 30 to a minute to you heard his little whole situation there, and I don't have sense enough to keep it moving. I got to comment on it too. Then, John, check this out. Check how slick Weiner is. Check out how slick he is. We produce a show. One of our team members that works with us at the Leon Thomas Group, her name is Jasmine Pollock, recent graduate of Warner University. She is an aspiring sports announcer. She's had her own show for about a year and a half now. It's called First Impressions Sports Talk. I look at the roster to see who's going to be on the show. Here's Weiner. Weiner's a guest on the
Oh
sports
my
show all
gosh,
of a
you're
sudden.
kidding.
I'm like, what? Who okayed that? I didn't even get the check mark it. The stamp of approval from the boss. He's on the show. You
It
know?
was either him
Yeah,
or Brady. It was either him
Jasmine.
or Brady.
Yeah, him or Brady.
We Jasmine and I had a great time. I kind of rebooked myself after the Ravens win the Super Bowl. So there you go. So put your stamp of approval on
Subtle. Very subtle.
2024 when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
bring home the
very subtle.
Lombardi Trophy.
Yes, very subtle. All right. Thank you, John, for being for being with us. Thank you for setting up the new flow of the show so that we have a dad joke from our guest at the beginning of the show. I like it, John.
I'm a game changer. What can I say?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so let's bring Mike back up real quick. Mike and John back on the screen here real quick. Let's get Mike back up. So Mike, tell me, do you have what's going on for next week? Did we decide we're going to do the show next week? We're
You know
not
what?
gonna bring. What are we
I,
gonna
th- I
do? What's
think
the plan? What do you want to do?
I'm planning on doing the show with you. However,
Uh
we
oh.
have canceled all the NRG meetings. Michelle Wilson, my VP, came to me and said, let's take a break. I mean, I'm running 30 Zooms a week. I need a mental break more than anything. So next week for our viewing audience, Monday, July 3rd through Friday the 7th, no meetings. But Leon, I will be here with you on the 5th. We can talk about fireworks. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. I might have a guest, I might not. We can always talk football. I mean, worse things happen. So, I know we'll have a blast. I'm looking forward to next week, and I'm looking forward to a break. I'm not going to be on Zoom, but I'm going to be doing things behind the scenes on LinkedIn and Facebook. And there's a lot of members that have gone kind of MIA. I'm going to reach out to them in a friendly, charismatic, magnetic way that I do. And hey, we missed you. Let's get you plugged back in. So
All right.
I'm excited about the second half of the year. First half was solid. John, it was great having you on the show, man. You're a great addition to NRG, a great asset, and you and I have developed, I think, a really special bond from Maryland to North Carolina and around the country. So, Leon,
This was
always
fun.
appreciate everything you do, and Thanks for hiring Jasmine. You give me an outlet where I can talk sports for 25, 30 minutes. We had a great time. Hopefully you watched the interview, but I had a great time. I had a
All
great
right.
time. Jasmine's phenomenal.
Yeah, she is. All right,
Yeah.
great. Thanks. If you want to be a guest on the show, it's real simple to do. You just contact Mike Weiner. Contact Mike. His email address is mike@networkreferralgroup.com. You can also give Mike a call. His phone number is 443-756-9656. And if you would like to host your show and have your own podcast, webcast, contact me. My name is Leon Thomas. I'm the president of the Leon Thomas Group. You can reach me via phone at 443-756-5700, or you can email me, leon@theleonthomasgroup.com. Thanks for watching another episode of NRG this week. We'll see you next week.